What is up, guys? How are you doing today? So, I've been meaning to make a video on the NVIDIA Profile Inspector, which is an advanced NVIDIA control panel for boosting FPS and getting into advanced settings on your GPU. So, if you really want to put get your GPU running at their best, you should really watch this video. So, I'll leave the links in the description um, for the NVIDIA Profile Inspector download. But basically, you just go to github.com, you press here, and it'll be automatically downloaded to your PC. Then you just have to extract it and open the NVIDIA Profile Inspector. So your NVIDIA Profile Inspector won't look the same as mine because I've tweaked some settings already, but you should copy all of my settings right now, except for the frame rate limiter background application, because this just uh, limits your FPS on background apps so that your GPU doesn't use itself on applications that you're not currently using. But everything else you should copy. So let's start by talking about G-Sync. I think everybody already knows what G-Sync is. But I'll leave a recommendation here. If you don't play FPS games, leave it on. But for example, I really enjoy playing Valorant, Fortnite, CSGO, and other FPS games, so I leave my G-Sync off. So here you'll put it to off, force off, and off again, so that it doesn't work. So going a bit down, we have the pre-rendered frames. Though this is basically the amount of frames that your GPU is going to render before it shows on your screen. For the minimum input lag, it's recommended that you have this at 1. Here we have our refresh rate. Obviously, we want to have the highest refresh rate available, so that's going to do this. This is the latency tweak on the NVIDIA control panel. In ultra low latency enabled, you put it to on, and here put it to ultra so that you have the least input lag. This is VSync. You want to force VSync off. VSync is really bad for gaming. So just put it to force off, and here we can leave it in standard. Okay, so jumping to the anti-aliasing part. So here, this is a bit more complicated. It has lots of settings. I leave it in application controlled /off, but it doesn't always turn the anti-aliasing off. So you should go here to selector override, which means that anything you select here will be valid for any application you're using. So that makes it so that your anti-aliasing is turned off. So here, anti-aliasing FXAA enabled. This is an NVIDIA option that comes enabled, so every game has FXAA enabled by default. So you want to disallow it. You click here and just click disallowed so that it doesn't put anti-aliasing on your game while you're not wanting it, so you lose FPS. Now MFAA, you want to turn that off because that's another type of anti-aliasing and it just worsens your performance. Here on anti-aliasing transparency super sampling, there's a lot of options here, but you want to put AA mode replay mode all so that it disables all transparency super sampling. Here on anti-aliasing MSAA mode, you want to put to override any application setting, and the setting you want to put to application controlled /off. Prevent anti-aliasing, this is the OGL part. I've done some tests here, and I've seen the best performance by disabling FBO enhance, not replay SGS SAA. So you want to put to disable FPO enhance. Now going to the texture filtering optimization, you want to put anisotropic filtering optimization on, sample optimization on. The anisotropic filtering mode is user defined /off, so that the games that you're playing turn it off by default. The setting off linear, you can put it to point or linear, any one of those if you're in doubt, if you're doubting that. Anisotropic filtering, the mode and setting. This is a bit more complicated as well. I'd put it to off or linear, but it doesn't always turn it to off, and I've seen it obey more the commands by putting it to selector override. So that's the perfect setting. Negative LOD bias you should allow. NVIDIA texture filtering quality you should put to high performance. Trilinear optimization on. Okay, so now that we've passed all the graphics tweaking, we should do a bit on the GPU itself. So let's start by putting the CUDA Force P2 state off, because this is an energy conserving state and we don't want our GPU to save energy. We want its best performance, so you put it to off. Here on Ansel, we put it to off, so it disables Ansel, which worsens our FPS. Let's see. Here in power management, you put it to prefer your maximum performance, so that your PC runs at the best performance possible. Now we come to a difficult part, rebar. So the special thing about the NVIDIA Profile Inspector version 2.4.0.4 is that now you don't have to go to scroll all the way down to others to to enable rebar. You can just do it from here. So even if your GPU doesn't allow rebar, it's recommended that you enable it. So you put here rebar, you enable it. On rebar options, you want to put this one with the most games written on it, and the size limit you want to put to the first one with the most games written again. Shader cache, which means the cache size of your shaders. It's nice to put this on a bit of a low number. I'd say half of your VRAM, because that makes it so that your cache size is what you set, and it resets the shader cache when it gets full, which is good for the GPU and for rendering in general. So as my GPU has 8 gigabytes of VRAM, I like to put it at 4. So now scrolling down a bit, it's to, let me see, other, yeah, going down to other, memory allocation policy. This is how your computer processes the VRAM allocation so that your games can use it. I've tested all 3 modes, and the best FPS is when you put it to memory allocation policy moderate reallocation. So that's what you want to put. This is Ansel, which we disabled up there. You want to put it to Ansel allow disallowed, so that it turns off and you have the best performance. Now we have variable refresh rate. This refers to VSync, so you just disable it. After that done, you apply the settings. Be careful not to select something and scroll on top of it so it changes the setting. So I'd recommend clicking apply on every topic. So for example, I tweaked here, I click apply so that the settings don't come off. Thank you for watching, guys. Just something that I'd like to say. I am not saying NVIDIA wrong. I know I've seen on YouTube people saying that NVIDIA is is supposed to be set NVIDIA, but if you look at an actual NVIDIA things, I have a picture here of the official NVIDIA site saying that it's pronounced NVIDIA, not NVIDIA. It actually says that NVIDIA is the wrong pronunciation. So yeah, just an observation. After doing all that, apply the settings, close it, restart your PC, and you're good to go. Thank you guys for watching. I'll wait for you on the next video, which I'll explain the advanced settings on the NVIDIA control panel without the NVIDIA Profile Inspector use. So that's it. Thank you guys. See you next time.